Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I played this video yesterday, but I just wanted to bring it back to your attention. This is from Digital Perspectives. He was interviewing the Uphold CEO, and the takeaways from it are they're about to have it where you can have your money. Let's say you sold $10,000 of XRP. You would be able to take that $10,000, sell it into USD. It would be FDIC insured, and even if it was $2.5 million worth, up to $2.5 million. And I think the way they do this is I think they get relationships with like 10 banks, and your money is actually divided into those 10 FDIC accounts, even though you get an Uphold statement that shows the full $2.5 million. I think that's how that works. That way they can. I think that's how this thing works. But anyway, it's huge anyway, and they are basically a neobank. And same thing with, by the way, Uphold today, they announced win $20,000 in XRP. They're having an XRP sweepstakes to enter, and I don't have anything to do with this. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. To enter, you opt in for one free entry, and then you trade to earn more interest. So I went into my app, and you could see the logo for the graphic for this contest. You can click on an opt-in button, and then if you trade, it enters you to be able to opt in more, is kind of how it works. And by the way, I'm an Uphold shareholder. I own Uphold shares on the Link2 platform, who is my sponsor, Link2, linqto.com. I checked this morning. This is one of my favorite private equities on the platform right now. It's on the platform now, and you can see it up there. So you can go to link2.com, where you can download the app. All right, check it out. U.S. elections are 31 days away. Markets typically get intense around elections. Are you prepared? Here's the past performance after the election, after 2017, after 2021. What's gonna happen after this one? Should get interesting. Here's Crypto Insight UK. My eyes are on XRP today and over the weekend. Although I think a bounce of this speed is unlikely, it's the reaction of XRP must watch. Yesterday we had a flush in sentiment, people throwing in the towel, but price held up well. Was it a last flush before a move? That's what I'm betting on, because I am. And then eGreg Crypto has his worst case scenario at $2.30 to $5.89. He says he's been getting DMs asking him the worst case scenario for XRP this cycle. That's his worst case. That's not a very bad worst case. And now, for the jobs report today, don't worry, this will be revised down after the election, because that's how CNBC and the Democrat Party roll.
254,000, significantly better than 150 expected, and an upward revision to last month from 142,000 to 159,000, which means the 2-month revision now is a little over 70,000. If we look at the unemployment rate, it is at 4.1. 4.1, it moved lower. I can hear yields moving higher as we speak. And 4.1, of course, equals where we were in June. You have to go to May to get a lower number at 4%. Average hourly earnings month over month, better than expected, up 0.4%, which equals where we have been in May. You have to go back to the beginning of the year, January, when we were up 0.5%. Now, if we look at average hourly earnings on a year-over-year basis, this number also much better than expected, 4%.
Okay. As I said, they'll be revising the numbers down to reflect that there's not a lot of job increases, but that'll be after the election. They need to lie to you for now.
For example, if we look at
This is Jeremy Allaire.
Tether obviously is the biggest by market cap, right? In this internet of like this new financial system that's being developed, what do you think people are looking for?
Well, I think Look, in an early stage market, which is dominated by like offshore unregulated exchanges, and it's mostly about speculating on different things, right? That's one thing. Okay. The internet financial system is clearly about actual economic activity. So if we want this to be useful, it has to be about actual economic activity.
So we focus on the adoption in the real world. So payments, remittances. We don't care about the usage of USDT in Europe and the US. We don't think Europe and US are a good market for us.
How can they but not be a good market for them? They just don't want to have their books looked at, is what they don't want. Bitstamp, discover Ripple Labs, the powerhouse behind XRP. Ripple Lab transforms cross-border payments with XRP and blockchain tech, driving innovation in finance from payments to CBDCs. Here's a clip that was going around from Monica Long talking about Chris Larsen, and XRP Drops here is making the point about Chris Larsen's importance in this whole thing coming about.
People were at the company then. I think roughly 10. I should have consulted David before coming up here. I think it was roughly 10, mostly engineers. I knew Chris Larsen, who co-founded the company. He was CEO then. He's now our executive chairman of the board. I had worked for him when he was the CEO of Prosper years ago. Prosper was this really exciting, innovative, peer-to-peer lending platform. And so I really enjoyed my time working for Chris then, saw him as a real visionary, and also someone who had a real mission to democratize finance. That's a through line in his career. E-Loan first in the 90s to bring mortgage lending online, and then Prosper, and then Ripple. So I was just catching up with him. It was just an innocent catch-up meeting, I think in August or something of 2013. But when he started to talk about what was happening with first Bitcoin and then the XRP ledger and what we were doing at Ripple, he was on fire. He was so excited about what the opportunities were, and it was more than just a business opportunity to him. It was like, this is going to be this is the most important invention in finance in more than 50 years. So I really bought into his excitement and his vision, and haven't looked back since.
That's why I started this channel. Look at this, the IMF talking Bitcoin.
So on El Salvador, IMF staff have ongoing engagement with the Salvadorian authorities, and the objective is to reach agreement on a new IMF-supported program that would help with the macroeconomic stabilization and adjustment, and also growth-enhancing reforms. Ongoing discussions are focused on policies to strengthen reforms that can be used to boost productivity and economic governance. Addressing risks arising from Bitcoin is a key element of these discussions. And of course, the goal is for the fund to be in a position to support a credible and well-sequenced policy package that is designed by the authorities. With respect to the details on Bitcoin, what we have recommended is a narrowing of the scope of the Bitcoin law, strengthening the regulatory framework and oversight of the Bitcoin ecosystem, and limiting the public sector exposure to Bitcoin.
Okay. Now, this is that guy Da Vinci. He is being schooled on Bitcoin versus XRP today by Matt Hamilton. It's worth your watch.
I think that is a really good reason for cryptocurrencies, and deflationary cryptocurrencies like XRP that have a finite supply that can't be inflated specifically, meet that requirement. One of the biggest issues with Bitcoin is its scalability. It's whatever it is, 7 transactions or 10 transactions a second, whatever it can do. Then, every person in the world is going to be, if they wanted to use Bitcoin, they could make 2 transactions in their entire lifetime, and that would be the capacity used up. So the only way in which Bitcoin can actually kind of scale to be usable is to have additional things like layer 2 networks or custodial networks or whatever, that unfortunately, in making it more useful, remove a lot of the very key, interesting concepts that Bitcoin is known for, right? And that Bitcoin uses. So I totally agree. Bitcoin was revolutionary. It was great when it came out. It was fantastic. And I totally agree with what you're saying in terms of its goals. The problem being is that from a pragmatic point of view, it's just not usable in society with the number of people that want to be able to use it, right? The transaction fees are just too high, and they're going to get higher. As the mining subsidies disappear, then the fees are going to get higher and higher, and it's going to be your banks, your rich people, whatever, they're going to use it, because the everyday person is just simply not going to be able to afford to transact on Bitcoin. So they're going to have to use layer 2s that just, most of those remove the interesting aspects that make Bitcoin unique. And so you might as well use something instead that is far more pragmatic with this approach. And like I said, the XRP ledger was created by Bitcoin developers who understood this, right? That is why they created the XRP ledger, because they understood this. And one of the first use cases of Bitcoin, of the XRP ledger, was to tokenize Bitcoin, right? That's why it was the first blockchain to have a DEX, the first blockchain to support tokenization, because one of its early use cases was to tokenize Bitcoin and transact Bitcoin in a far more efficient.
It is such a Mickey Mouse conversation of Bitcoin versus XRP. I've always just been shaking my head since 2013 on this deal. It's an obvious thing, folks. Look at this. Elon Musk is going to go back. He's going to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, where the first assassination attempt on Trump happened. They're going there on Saturday. You're going to have 2 of the guys who are probably the biggest targets of assassination on the planet Earth in one place, where there's already been one attempted assassination. We live in interesting times, folks. And then there's this. The betting markets are betting that the HBO documentary will identify Satoshi as Lynn Sassaman, who I've never heard of. I've heard of these 2. I've heard people thinking these 2 were the creator. I direct messaged the producer of this film, and I asked him if he had, I even included the Homeland Security video where Homeland talked with 4 Satoshis, and I asked him if he met with Homeland Security and interviewed the identified Homeland Security agent, and asked her more about what happened in that meeting. If he doesn't respond, I'll go ahead and tell you, if he doesn't respond to that, I can tell you this is just one of these PSYOP documentaries to keep the narrative going that, oh yeah, well, this is who I think it is, but nobody can really prove it, That's what I think it is. In DAIXRP.com, here's what we're talking about. We're gonna talk about what's coming. The party guy, what's coming from all of this? Well, there's an important figure that says it's bigger than you think, and that kind of stuff. I'm also going to show you speaking of Butler, Pennsylvania, I'm going to show you a very spooky X47 video. 2 of them actually, but this is something you probably haven't seen yet. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Let's see what's coming. Here we go.